Today we're gonna talk about what's in our packs for our hike in 2025 on the Pacific Crest Trail.
You gonna go first?
I guess so. Okay. First of all, the mouth of my pack is way easier to do up with one hand for me. It's got a harder rim in here that helps me just flip it a lot easier and close. Another thing is that the rigging on it is a little bit different. It's way more straps. It's got deeper pockets. Whole water bottle is way better. There's things about it, my pack, that work way better for me. I wish I could have a Durston, but it's not very expensive, but it's pretty light. Way lighter than my Osprey that I had the first time that I went. I put my tent pegs and my tent poles on the outside. An extra water bottle. I have 2 water bottles on this side. I carry a thermarest. Helps it fit better in the hips. And I tend to sleep hot in the desert, and when it's cold in the Sierra, I extra warmth, and I can use this for a sitting pad, and it works good for me anyways. My toiletry kit, my camp shoes, and then for easy access and stuff like that, I'll just put my water filter. I have a Be-Free. I put it behind so it doesn't get popped. I have my electronics and my first aid kit, my battery pack, my cook system. Originally had a jet boil, but I burnt the element on it, so I just got a pocket rocket, and I've used the pot is still good, and it actually works really good with the pocket rocket. I got a pillow. I put my tent in there. My tent is just a copper spur, single copper spur, Big Agnes. I love it. It's super easy for me to set up. Rather deal with the weight over the annoyance of trying to use a pole system tent like a Durston or like a Z-Packs. This is my clothes bag. I use these little Woods bags because they're fairly cheap and they're actually really waterproof. And they got a valve on them so you can squish them down pretty good. I have my sleeping bag. Again, I put it in a bigger sack. I don't use a compression sack. I've done some pretty good river fords with it, and my bag has always stayed dry. I don't use the garbage bag just because it's not rigid enough for me, and I find these are a lot easier to pack. My sleeping bag is an enlightened equipment. It's not a bag, it's a quilt. So there we go. Sleeping pad is just the Amazon. Super easy for me to fold up and get back into the little bag. I had like one of the ultralight thermarest sleeping pads, and the valve was really hard for me to open and close with one hand, and I ended up ruining it because I had to use my mouth a lot. I had to send that one back. That's it for inside. This is my main pocket. I'll usually put, if I'm using earbuds, I'll put my earbuds in there, and then my medication. I like using these Noon tablet because they're fairly waterproof. I haven't ruined any medication with it, and I've had my hip belt in the water. And then some potassium. I always have a little bit of potassium tablets. And my knife, which I love very much because it's very easy for me to do with one hand. And it's aluminum. It's very light. I've had some other blades that are just as big, but they're 3 times as heavy. So that's what's in my hip belt. The only thing I have on my shoulder straps as of right now, like for the Pacific Crest Trail, is I have my Garmin InReach, which I love. I've only had to use it a couple times for simple things like there was a forest fire that I called in. Instead of a phone pocket, I wanted to make sure that I didn't drop it. So I got a lanyard. I just, there, now I can take it out. I don't have to worry about it dropping. It's strong enough that it just stays right by my side, but I can take it out. It's got enough reach. The other thing I'll probably bring is my BV 500. Fits really good in my pack. I can stuff my tent right beside it, and it actually feels really good on my back. It feels very comfortable. I've seen a lot of people carrying them up here, and I like to have it in my pack and have everything together. And that's it.
I really like making pre-trail videos to see what I am starting out with and versus what I'm actually ending up with. See if I've made the right choices. But because it's the second time that Jason and I have both been on the trail, I think we've got it dialed in pretty good. So So for my pack, I'm doing a Durston 55-liter pack, and I bought this on the marketplace last summer. I really like it. I like the simplicity of it. There's not a lot of rigging to deal with, straps and whatnot. So simple with lots of pockets. It's comfortable for my back despite the fact that there's not a lot of padding. I do like that it is framed. I do like a framed pack versus non. So let's get into what I have in my front pouch. I have my toilet kit with toilet paper, hand sanitizer, some wet wipes, as well as some sanitary napkins for that time of the month. I have my water filtration. I've always ever used Be Free. I've never used the Sawyer Squeeze. I find that this is really simple. Scoop water up, put on the filter, and then squeeze it into your bottle. No fuss, no muss. It's very easy to use and not a lot of pieces to go with it. I'll have my rain jacket in here, more for an extra layer of warmth as I hike. This is going to be my ground sheet. It's also a tarp, and it's also a sheet that I can sit on when I stop for breaks and I don't have to sit in the dirt. And I have my sun gloves. And that is it for the front of my pack. My side pockets are going to hold all of my water. So I do have 1.5 liter water bottles right now. This is what I'm practicing with. Very heavy, 1.5 liters. How much does that weigh? I forget how much water weighs. I have to go look it up. So I have 1.5 liter on this side and on this one, as well as a Gatorade bottle. The Gatorade bottle is what I use to put electrolytes in. So I will just take my filtered water from this water bottle, pour it in, chug it for breaks. The last time I was on the Pacific Crest Trail, I had a water bladder. This time, Jason suggested I just carry water bottles because this pack does not really have the capacity or pockets to hold a water bladder. So he rigged up this system with an old water bladder hose and just carved out a little bit of a bigger hole out of the sports cap. And then I'll just reuse the sports cap with every water bottle. So I'm hoping that this works. I do like sipping on water as I walk. My mouth gets really dry, so I like just constantly sipping on water versus trying to grab my water from the side of my pack or having to stop and take it off. I just find this more efficient. Turning my pack around to my shoulder straps. I really like this pack for this reason. They have shoulder strap pockets. So I will be bringing a little tripod with a selfie stick. So hopefully this time when I take videos, I'm not just holding the camera here and seeing my face. I can hold it a little further away. And then this tripod as well. So just got it off of Amazon. Hopefully it doesn't break. It probably will, but I'll see how I do with this one. My Garmin InReach. If you're looking to buy a Garmin InReach, I'd say buy the small mini ones. This is pretty heavy and really not necessary, but this is what I have. This is what I'm bringing. This pocket will be miscellaneous items, probably snacks, bars. And this I used on the Pacific Crest Trail the last time. And I hold my phone in here. So I put my phone in there so it's protected from sweat and sand. And then I tuck this inside my bra and my shirt. So when I'm walking, I have easy access to it. I'm not fumbling around. It's not in my pocket. I know where it is. It's safe. And it's protected with this little pouch. And I can just quickly take it in and out. So that is what I use for my cell phone. Right now, I'm just putting it here so I don't forget it. And I'll just be putting snacks in my side pocket. Maybe some sunscreen and some chapstick. Also new for me is putting my tent poles on the outside of my pack. I've always put them on the inside, but honestly, it's actually been 2 years, almost 3 years since I've actually carried a tent. Jason always carries it. So we're gonna take 2 separate tents. I'll be carrying the 2-person, he's carrying the 1-person. When he continues on this trail, he'll be using his 1-person. Or if we need some space, if we're not getting enough sleep, then we can set up our own tents and have our own space so we can sleep at night. Let's tackle what's inside. At the very top of my pack is my food bag with food in it. This is the Your Sack. I've had this since 2021. And it is a little heavier than, say, just like a grocery bag. I'm taking it so I could pass it off to Jason when he continues the hike. He wants to have this sack, so that's fine. Underneath my food bag, I have my clothing bag. This is the size of my clothing bag. If you want to know what's in here, you can look at my last video and we will tell you what we're bringing for clothes on the Pacific Crest Trail. I also have all of my little Ziploc bags. This is my electronic kit, first aid kit, and also my hygiene kit. If you want to know what's in these bags, I will link the video below as well. Okay, and now this is my tent. 2-person. I love this tent, easy to set up. I'm going to use it again. I have it. And then this is my sleeping quilt. It's an Enlightened Equipment sleeping quilt. I've had this for 3 years, since 2021 as well, and I love it. Last but not least is my Sea to Summit sleeping pad. Also, I bought this for the Pacific Crest Trail the first time. No issues, no holes, no patching, still works great. If I was to buy another one though, I would buy a shorter one. This one's pretty long, it's a regular size, but I don't really need a sleeping pad under my feet because I curl up and it always hits the bottom of the tent. So once I decide to replace this, I will get a smaller size. So that is it. That's what I have in my bag. And since all my stuff is out, I'm going to take the time to weigh it all out and put it in the lighter pack spreadsheet and keep everything organized. I wasn't going to bother with that. It's funny, this time planning the trip, I'm not so worried about all of those little things, but it would be nice to know later on, or just have a record of what I am bringing and how much it weighs, and you could do the math and add it all up, and I don't know. But once that's all done, I will put in the lighter pack below so you can see specifically the gear and how much everything weighs. So that is our setup for our pack. Jason has some things in there that I don't have, and vice versa. If you notice, I'm not carrying a cook system. I plan on just eating cold food or wraps or bars.
She plans on using my cook system. Is what she plans on doing.
No.
So then I have to wait until she's done using it, and
no. This is how it goes on the trail. You walk for all day long, and I'm tired, and I just want to go in the tent and not socialize. He's going to go out and socialize with the group and want to eat and talk with everybody, and so I'd rather just have my wrap and go to bed. I think it's going to work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably will work that way.
I'll be sore and tired, and I don't want to wait for the water to boil.
Oh, it gets cranky. It gets cranky. Use my microspikes?
No! How are we going to do this? Okay, we've only actually hiked, I don't know, 5 days, the longest? 5 days.
5 or 7 days.
So, this will be fun.
Yep.
This will be the ultimate challenge.
It'll hurt us or help us, one of the two.
Both.
Both.
Alright, thank you for watching. Until the next video, go do your wave.